It was something about disappointment, though. I know that for sure.
That whole story was fucking disappointing. Fucking what do you call it? Jemiah even was like, "What the fuck?"
What's good with you, Ken, man? I ain't talked to you in a while, bro. What you
And
been up to, fool?
and we are live.
Just, just chilling, man. I've been playing a lot of Ratchet, yo.
Who's Ratchet?
I seen that.
You?
I,
True.
I was like, I'm gonna check if one of them's online. I'm like, where the fuck? What are you doing?
No, because I just came back. Well, I tell you all about it when I get out here. Yo, we alive, Ken.
Okay. All right, man. Welcome everybody to the PlayStation Culture Podcast. We have some interesting topics to talk about today. So we got everybody here. Obviously, me, Josh, and we got Nelson and Black on the panel today. So yeah, man, what have you been playing, Josh?
I'm trying to platinum. What do you call it? Fucking Returnal, man. That's being a malignant bitch right now, but so far so good. I'm doing that. I'm playing a little bit of Ratchet. I'm trying to get better. Me and Black was talking about Guilty Gear is a lot deeper than anticipated. So there's something going on there, and I'm all for it. What about you? What about you, Ken? What you
So
been?
stuff. Uh, just been playing Ratchet, man. To be honest with you, just I've been trying to beat the story, and obviously, I've been trying to get the platinum for it as well. So a lot of my time has just been going into that whenever I have time to play it. I've been playing that shit all day, bro.
Nice.
Literally all day, and I was playing it for a while yesterday too.
It's only a 6-hour game. I don't know where people came. I put 38 into it and I didn't platinum it. So.
Nah, it's you know what, man, it's
I
it's
do
it's
all the
actually
shit and I explore, so I don't know what people are talking about.
It's actually a really good game, man. I like it a lot, man. And I was and I was telling Josh because I actually before we jumped on the show today, I actually finished the story. Ha, finally, which is cool, right? But I still got to go for the platinum. But either way, after I finished the story, I started another one, and you have all of your weapons upgraded and stuff like that. And I don't know, man. The game just seems even more fun to me, man. I don't know
I'll
if you
be right
guys
back,
kind of.
guys.
All right. Yeah, I don't know if you guys. I know you finished it, Black man. I'm not sure about Nelson,
Yeah, I
but
finished it.
yeah, I don't know about
I
you
didn't
guys, man.
platinum
But
it. I'm at like 85% or something. I don't
yeah,
platinum shit.
Yep, yep, yep,
yeah, we can hear you, man.
yep.
Oh, that didn't work. That's annoying. Okay. All right, let's try this.
But yeah, man, I've been I started a new game, and I feel like I'm having more fun with the game. So with everything being upgraded and stuff like that, and I kind of already know what to do, and I feel like I could kind of just jump in and play it. So, but that's kind of what I've been doing, man. What about you guys, man? What about you, Black? What have you been playing?
Mainly just fuck around with Guilty Gear, of course. It's like my default game when I get bored of other shit. Yeah, mainly just Guilty Gear. I've been dipping and dabbing and everything else, but I haven't really been playing anything serious besides Guilty Gear. But after getting my ass kicked in the tournament yesterday, I need to double down on that shit. I see
Wait,
that
wait, wait, wait. What
uh,
tournament?
there was a tournament, Jay Barry's birthday tournament on Saturday for Guilty Gear Strive, and I went 0 and 6. You know what I'm saying? I went 0 and 6, and that's just for me. The amount of training that I did, I only got 50 something hours in the game. I got the plat and shit, but it's like I know that I could have did more to train, and I was like, whatever, ain't nobody really gonna be there. There were literally fucking pro players in this tournament, bro. Like no bullshit. I went to one of the guys' profiles. He's on a fucking esports team. I'm like, holy shit. I was underprepared like a motherfucker. So yeah, I was looking at today. He said, I don't feel so bad anymore for losing. Like these are pro players, bro. They sponsored and everything, bro. So I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? I got a couple hits in. I mean, I ain't win no rounds, but it's a win there. But
You know what,
yeah,
man?
man. Mhm.
Yo, Josh has been trying to get me to play the game, man. I don't know. Like, I feel like we should do that though, man. We should kind of like get a team together, and start playing some of these guys, man. Jay Barry and his crew, whatever. And I know Thrash was talking about it a while ago. So yeah, that'd be pretty dope though.
I mean, I'm always down, man. Always down. Whenever y'all
Hell
ready
yeah,
to.
man. Ready to jump in. What about you, Nelson? What have you been playing?
I'm playing RDR2 and I picked up Sackboy, even though I have too many fucking games to deal with right now as it is, but I just have a problem. I
A
can't keep my
problem?
finger off the trigger buying games.
What the fuck? All
Like, oh,
right.
I got 20 games I want to play in the next 3 months. Let's buy 5 more. Like what the fuck? What are you doing?
How the fuck do you find the time, man?
No, I make unrealistic goals, but I'm
Oh,
just
so your
saying.
backlog
I'm
must
just
be
saying.
crazy, yeah.
It keeps getting farther and farther back.
Damn. I know the feeling, yo. I gotta work on my shit too.
Work on what?
But I've been gone all week too, so I haven't really played since like Wednesday or Tuesday. So
Nah, Nelson said he keeps buying games and just on top of games on top of games.
On God.
Oh God. Oh God. Not me. Look at this motherfucker, yo.
I said I was gonna buy Sackboy once it was on sale. I just wanted to get. I was hoping to have a little more dished out of my shit I want to finish beforehand, but it didn't happen. So
You know what, man? Now that you mention it, man, I told Josh this too, man. I'm trying to get my internet fixed up so we can start doing some.
Lord Jesus.
Yo, look, I'm working on it, bro. I'm trying to get that shit fixed up so we
you
can
live in
start
the
doing some other.
country, you don't get it.
I live in
No.
the motherfucking country.
No, he has it.
I get it.
Nope. The hotel I was in, they had perfect internet. It's this nigga.
It depends where you live.
No, I was
It's
in
a
the
long
area.
story, man.
Look at
Up
Josh over
until
here
recent, up
snacking on
until
some shit.
recently, at my parents, you were getting like 3 to 4 megs up until like 6 months ago. That was
What I'm
Yo,
high speed
saying,
internet.
what I'm saying is not him.
I'll say it like this. It's a complicated situation and I'm trying to fix it.
It really
All
isn't
right.
that complicated, but
It's
I won't put you on blast like that. I'll just leave it alone. Let's move
I'll just say
along.
there are multiple moving parts, man. It's not just me. But anyway, man. But anyway, like Nelson said he was gonna get Sackboy. I wanted to, once I get my shit situated, start getting some stuff going in the community stuff, like community sessions and all that. I know we added that to the Discord, so I'm trying to get that going pretty
I
soon.
gotta be more present with the Discord too. By the way,
Yeah,
you know,
I feel the same way.
don't be a lazy bitch, a lazy malignant bitch.
Don't say shit.
Hmm.
All right, man. That's what's up, man. So let's get right into the first topic here, man. We got some cool stuff to talk about. Um, the first topic today is Sony elevates the industry, right? So me and Josh were talking about this, man, and we kind of we were throwing around some ideas, and we kind of come to the conclusion that we feel like Sony as a company, man, especially when it comes to their PlayStation or whatever their console, that they do a lot of things to kind of like elevate the industry essentially. Um, and we have a list of things here that we can kind of go through. We'll see what everybody thinks on it, but um, the first thing that we have here is the fact that they put a lot of money into AAA games. Um, and that's pretty obvious. They have a lot of AAA stuff, and they have a lot of great stuff too. Um, yo, Black, what do you think about that, man? You have anything to say about that?
I mean, when I think about, say the phrase elevate the industry, I'm thinking more so like helping out these third party indie developers, or not even just indie developers, but like companies that could use the extra bump in and funding for their games. You know what I'm saying? So if Sony sees that they're making some strides, you know what I'm saying, they're doing something creative that they feel like they want on their platform and they want to help out, that they'll partner up with those teams. So when I see that, that's when I hear about that, that's what I think about. So like the thing with Jade Raymond, these upcoming studios, these ones, the ones that
Housemark,
Housemark, you know what I'm saying? Just I
Blank.
think about those things when I think about elevating, you know what I'm saying? And then of course their studios, the studios that they have, you already know what's up with PlayStation Studios. They're always gonna try to push that limit, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's what I'm thinking when I'm thinking about that.
Well, let me ask you a question, Black.
Hmm.
Oh, what the fuck? I'm sorry. Hello?
Damn, my fucking keyboard just went the fuck out.
There we go. Okay, cool. All right. So what I want to ask you, Black, is that for instance, putting a lot of money into because we're gonna take this step by step. So the thing that I want to talk about is actually pouring money into the AAA studios for like quality, right?
Hmm.
Would you agree or disagree?
I mean, that alone isn't saying elevating the industry.
No, no.
So
We
what I'm hearing from the
let me
devs,
hold on. Wait. Let me preface the conversation. We went over everything that we thought that they've done to elevate the gaming industry, and what I'm
hmm,
saying, maybe I'm not clear, is we're gonna go through little like step by step, little things that they've done to elevate the industry.
sure,
So the thing that I want to focus on here is, would you agree that they have put money into AAA games?
I can agree with that. Yes,
Okay. Do
yeah.
you believe that them putting money into AAA stuff, right, is more or less than the competition?
It depends. I mean, all right. If I look at it from an overview,
Mm-hmm.
I would say hell yes. I would say hell yes, but it just depends on the title, of course. You know what I'm saying?
So why do
Some
you say?
titles are gonna get more than others,
So why do you say
but
depends?
overall, yes. It just depends on the title. If some titles are warranted bigger budgets, right?
Sure, Joe. What
Hmm.
about you, Nelson?
Yes, I think it helps that
Yes. Yes.
No, no.
a lot of publishers seem to have taken a lot of steps backwards too, so it helps make them stand out even more.
What do you mean by that? Can you elaborate, please?
Like for me, there used to be a lot of publishers I used to count on for extremely high quality experiences, and now it's kind of like, well, where's Konami at now? They're pretty much dead. EA outside of Respawn, I don't really care for any of their shit. Ubisoft, just fuck Ubisoft. Uh,
You mean to tell me you're not excited for that Assassin's Creed live service game?
I'm done. After I bought Valhalla, I was like, okay, that's fucking strike three, fuckheads. I'm
Damn.
done with your ass.
I've been done with them motherfuckers, yo.
And that's what I mean, though. This is exactly what I mean.
BioWare was my favorite developer of games for like almost a decade, and dog shit now.
That's what I mean. Black, when I tell you about this shit, I tell you about, no one's putting as much money into games like Sony is. Like, I don't think that's even debatable. They're just not. What about yo, Ken? So, what about you? What's your take on poor money? Would you agree with Nelson?
Um, yeah, I would say so, man. I kind of wanted to add, because you mentioned that, a lot of developers are kind of like, and companies are kind of like taking a step backwards, and he gave a list, Ubisoft and EA and all those other
I
companies,
can
right?
keep going.
Yeah, yeah, obviously, there's a lot of them. They're kind of taking a step backwards at least when it comes to, like, providing, uh, like unique AAA experiences. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the AAA games that quote unquote AAA games that they make, they always seem to now follow like a similar pattern or formula, which, you know, obviously we see a lot of like free to play games. We see a lot of like live service shit, stuff like that. And I don't know, man. Me personally, I feel like Sony is one of the only companies. I'm not gonna say the only, but they're definitely one of the top when it comes to
Consistency
creating,
too.
yeah, consistency and
they're putting a lot of money into the industry, like straight up. I don't think like I feel like that's definitely not up for debate. Now I want to say this. I want to preface this conversation again by letting you know that there's a lot of subjects within there. So I want to keep this kind of going, so we won't stay too stuck on the title. But for the gist of it, it seems like Ken that you are saying that no one's putting that much effort. So the
well,
next,
yeah, I mean they're like actively trying to find unique experiences, which kind of goes into the next thing that we have listed here,
right?
which you can go ahead.
No, I was going to say like unique experiences. So the reason why I'm doing this is to kind of like give people like people don't get it. They don't understand that there's a lot that Sony is doing within the industry, and they seem to forget. Um, I remember there was a podcast that I've done where I said if you just make one of these companies disappear out of existence, like what would be left? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it would be a fucking catastrophe if Sony left. That being said, unique experiences. Black, what are some unique experience or unique? Yeah, what are some unique experiences that you can think of that Sony has, kind of like spearheaded?
Unique experiences. Astro's Playroom. That's a very unique experience. That's the first one that comes to mind. Just starting off the generation with games that we had to play. That was included with the PlayStation 5. You know what I'm saying? For me, that game, I low key
Really?
be
That's the
trolling when I
that's
be,
the game. That's the
bruh,
game.
that shit opened up my mind. I was like, after playing that game and utilizing the DualSense, bro, and just using the DualSense, that shit for real made me feel like anything's possible. And then the follow up right after that, Returnal, which like fucking basically cashed in or fucking like delivered on the promise of on the DualSense. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm thinking about like unique experiences with the 3D audio and all the tech that they promised us that the PlayStation 5 was gonna be able to do, those two games come to mind.
Oh, we're gonna get into that one. This topic is specifically about software. What about you,
Mhm.
Jeremy? What's some
As far as
unique experiences that you can recall Sony doing?
Ghost of Tsushima, the freaking combat, I've never played combat like that before. Like
Understood.
after playing that, I started playing Valhalla, and it's like going from PS4 to PS5. I shouldn't be taking such a massive step back in graphic and detail. And then combat, it's like I tried going back to Ghost to play one time, and after you get used to mashing L1 and R1, it's just a whole different concept when it's like, oh shit, I gotta learn the combat system.
Yeah, they. It's funny when you mentioned like Ghost. There's a lot of stuff going on. To be able to freely mix in between combat and I guess rudimentary stealth, if I'm gonna call it that. I mean, that's a thing.
And your different fighting styles on who you're fighting, and that shit all matters.
I remember I
You know,
made
too.
I remember I made a video and I compared God of War um, with Ghost of Tsushima. That was very interesting. What were you gonna say, Ken?
No, I was just gonna say, even like going with Ghost of Tsushima, man, they even the art direction that they had for the game was unique. You know, like where you would use the wind to guide you, and all that stuff. Like that type of stuff you don't really see very often, man. And it seems like that's just kind of like the culture, within PlayStation and their studios. They try to strive to do, like more artistically driven things like that, to sort of provide a different experience, which is cool.
I'll play devil's advocate here. So, what do you say to the people who talk about Ghost of Tsushima as a Assassin's Creed clone?
So let me answer this. So what would I say to the people?
Hmm.
Oh, oh, shut up! Shut up! That's what I would say.
Oh God, shut the fuck up.
Oh God.
What I
Real.
would say, honestly, um, it's a reductive argument to say something like it's the same thing. That's like how much of a sin would that be for me to say I don't know. Psychonauts is basically a Mario clone, or Mario is just, it's the same thing. You know what I mean? And it's not. I mean, you may have some platforming here and there, or shit. Be honest with you, even fuck it, I'm gonna say it. Ratchet and Clank, they're not the same game. You know what I'm saying? I've played both. The story isn't anything like it's not as
They're
serious.
just platformers. That's the only thing.
It's just a genre that connects them really,
Yeah,
And
it's
because
like
then
when people say Ghost is like fucking Assassin's Creed, they're just the same type of genre. Or all PlayStation exclusives are the same because they're action adventure games. They're nothing alike. The only
over the
thing they have
shoulder action
similarities
adventure.
is some of them or a lot of them use a bow. That's about as fucking close to goddamn connection as you can get between them.
it's a reductive comment. Honestly, it's totally reductive. And by the way, Assassin's Creed is an RPG, and Ghost of Tsushima isn't. It's an action adventure game.
It is.
I would even go as far as to say that it is an open world hack and slash, which I've never played before. So they're not the same. There's a lot of nuance with the fighting.
Ghost is a hybrid of many things.
Yeah. hmm
It's fucking amazing. That's what it is.
Yeah, it is. I
Me
fucking
and
love that
Ken
game.
talk. Me and
I
Ken.
can't play. Wait to play that again.
We
Me.
had an extensive conversation about that game last night too, by
It
the
really
way.
was. It was a really nice conversation. And it's true. It's one of those things where it's damn. It's a lot. It's hard to like pick one thing out because the whole thing falls apart. Like it's a sum of its parts. You know what I'm saying? And could the stealth be better? Yeah. It's not that it's broken. It's just that um, they wanted to focus on the combat system, and they worked on it for what 4 or 5 years. What was it? Ken?
5 years. Yeah,
Fucking
I read
five
that
years.
article.
5 years, and we're gonna get into that Umar too. 5 years. I would want people to play it too. Why the fuck would I want you to do stealth and I worked on that bitch for 5 years? The fuck? You know?
True.
Um,
Well, I always end up blowing my stealth anyways.
You know what, man?
yeah.
When I think of like unique experiences with PlayStation, right? Um, I think of personally, the fact that, and Black mentioned this too, the DualSense controller. You know what I'm saying? They try to actively, whatever, give you another avenue to experience a game, right? They revamped their audio, right? The 3D audio, things like VR. You know what I'm saying? VR, like it seems like they're trying to put like obviously like a strong focus on VR. And it's funny. It's funny, yo, Black. You mentioned
By the way, that's the next
Ash.
thing. That's the next thing that we're talking about is the fucking
Yeah,
how they push hardware forward.
yeah, the hardware. We were gonna segue into that part of this topic.
Hey,
But
hey,
it's
I gotta go. I'll be right back, guys. I gotta have an emergency because somebody's calling me like back to back. I'll be right
Okay.
back with you. All
all
right.
right, bro. But it was interesting, because Black mentioned Astro's Playroom. When I think of something unique, I think of something like Astro's the first one, Astro's Rescue Mission, or whatever it was called, right? That was an experience that I had never had before ever in my life. You know what I'm saying? It was such a cool and like refreshing experience that I just don't even. I'm like, dude, like this is. It's one of those things where you have to experience it to really like understand it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like really where I mean, obviously there are other VR headsets. I'm not saying Sony was the pioneer for VR or whatever, right? But they you could tell that they have a strong focus in trying to give you like a new, fresh experience with this type of stuff, right? Um, which, yeah,
Before you go on, I'm sorry guys for eating your ear. I'm fucking hungry. Hungry, not hungry. Hungry.
Fucking
Um,
fat ass.
I am a fat ass bitch. So anyway, um, a unique experience. They've been at this shit for 20 years, 20 plus years. For be PlayStation Home for me. I mean, that whole idea was pretty cool. I mean, yeah, you had Second Life, but Second Life was different. This was basically a virtualized PlayStation network. Not trying to be a different life. It was a PlayStation network, which is pretty cool. But continue, please. I just want to get my little piece in.
no, I mean, and even with that, like because there's information going around that they're probably thinking about bringing that back too, which it still falls within the same fucking like field. You know what I'm saying? The same ballpark. They're still trying to give you like another avenue to experience stuff, and even to go as far as like say stuff like the SSD with the PS5, right? We saw a little bit of it with Ratchet and Clank and whatnot, right? But just the rhetoric behind their logic for the SSD, you know what I'm saying? Mark Cerny talked about how he wanted to break down, whatever old methods of developing games and all that type of stuff, right? Because what? Because they want to provide a new experience. They want to do something that's basically never been done before. You know?
Hold on for a minute. Does Xbox 360 or Xbox One or Xbox, well, I guess Series X, but Xbox 360 and Xbox One, did they have 3D audio?
Ah.
I
Oh
don't think
man,
they
I'm not
did.
sure. I don't think they
They
did,
have
man.
they have
Series
Dolby
X?
Vision.
No, no, no.
They got
That's why I said Series X. Yeah, was Black, are you
no.
here?
They don't have 3D audio.
Okay, you good?
Yeah, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. It was an emergency, but they're Someone was just being very adamant about contacting me. Yeah, I'm back. I'm back.
Help! 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 Um, we 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 were talking about unique experiences, or how Sony pushes the hardware forward. This is why we say, Sony actually elevates the industry. There was 3D audio with the PS3. You know,
Hmm.
they didn't. No one did that. You know, there was 3D audio with the PS4, and they had the different peripherals that bring that experience. They even made a headset that vibrated. You know what I mean? So they're always doing something. Touchpad, with the with the PS1, they actually incorporated dual analog sticks. First console to do that. You know what I'm saying? And Dual Shock. Then they took it a step further with the PS2, and they had all analog buttons. It didn't go anywhere, but at least they kind of tried with the situation. Now I will say it was Microsoft added the triggers, which were analog, but we already had analog buttons anyway. There was the 6 axis that Sony incorporated um, with the PS3, and then with the PS4 they had the touchpad, and then with the PS5 it's the fucking DualSense and haptic feedback. Now haptic feedback was incorporated with Nintendo's console first in terms of consoles. So I can't take that away from them. It's just a more powerful motor, and I guess it just has a higher resolution of vibration. But you have the adaptive triggers that has never been done on a console. So my question to you, Black, is um, I didn't know you could do it as a DVR box. Umar, I had no idea. My question to you, Black, is what would be some things that you would see that Sony has pushed forward in terms of technology?
Hmm. I mean, we talked about the 3D audio
Hmm.
and the you know what I'm saying, as far as the oh shit. I mean, we if we talk about like everything in general, like as far as like the whole catalog and shit.
Yep, from PS1 to 5.
Damn, it's a lot of shit, man.
Yeah, no
I-
shit. Just pick
I'm in.
one.
I'm sorry, man. I'm in the now right now, so I'm talking about the PlayStation 5, bro. The motherfucking 3D audio, bro. The fucking the IO that they developed for the PlayStation 5, which is gonna allow us, that we're enjoying right now, was all the heavy streaming of the games. We don't have to deal with the loading time anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-mm-mm.
Shit.
It's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy. Like
Mhm.
they could have just put it.
Textures are gonna get badass too in the future.
They could have.
Oh man,
They could have
you already
just
know,
listen. They could have just fucking slapped in the SSD and kept it moving.
right? Just like somebody else I know, they could have did the same thing they did.
You know.
they they should
Wait.
not be
I'm
named.
gonna.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna
I
do.
think it's-
I'm gonna do my.
throw that budget shit in there and keep it moving.
I'm saying that off the shelf shit, then give it a name. You know what I'm saying? A buzzword.
Yo, I was gonna say, cause Umar mentioned SharePlay. That's another one. That's another
That is
feature.
badass.
Ooh,
I love that shit.
ooh.
Yep, I was gonna mention that too. He beat me to it, but but SharePlay is another one, man. I think is a feature that, as far as I know, you haven't really seen that shit. At least not on console, man. That's for sure.
That's facts. And they doubled down on it again on the PlayStation 5. It wasn't just a one off. They said, we're gonna do this shit, we're gonna make it even better. It works even smoother because of the new UI and the capabilities of the PlayStation 5.
Yo, Canino, look at your text.
I see it.
Okay. Um, and we got a couple more to go. It's not too much more. So you mentioned this earlier. Well, yeah, I guess y'all both are in agreement, but the fucking what was it again, kid? What was it you just said?
What about the pushing the hardware and the
No,
3D audio?
what did Jeremy say that you guys matched?
Uh,
Oh,
well,
Share
you
play.
talking about the
Share
share play
play.
feature.
Bro, yo, okay. So yesterday,
The most underrated feature of next
hey,
generation.
bro, yesterday, right? I swear to God, yo, I was like a spokesman for Sony. I didn't even mean to do it. Pablo was actually playing. He was playing Returnal, right?
Hmm.
And I had to get him acclimated to it because that nigga be quitting easy. He'd quit easy, and that game, You already know what it is. So, um, I was playing Ratchet and Clank at the time, and he was doing some things. So he ended up, opening up the share screen portion, remote play, and I get in there and I put the little screen at the upper right hand side of the screen while I was playing Ratchet and had some downtime. But I was a little bit, and I was broadcasting too. I was a little bit tired. I was like, oh, let me stop playing Ratchet. So I just blew up the screen, right? And then I said, Pablo, you see those locked gates with the little crate in there? I said, there's a way to open it. He was like, where? He was like, where? I was like, turn around.
Let me see your
I
screen.
was like, left. No, I was already looking at it. I was like, left. No, nigga, your other left. So he goes over there and he's like, where? He's like, where? I said, give me the controller. So I took the controller.
You know what I'm saying?
And I pointed it over there. I said, this thing. He was like, oh. So, you know what I'm saying? I was like, here the controller back. And I continued to watch his share play. It's fucking cool shit.
Can I ask a question, bro?
Yeah.
With all the fucking feature heavy shit that we see everybody talking about, you know what I'm saying? Everybody talking about features. Why is no one talking about this feature, bro? That is so fucking big,
I don't know.
man.
I got into a debate with a guy on PlayStation Vortex like 2 months ago that he's writing something for Xbox. And when I was explaining this for him, he called me a liar and he says, so you're telling me if I have a PS4 and I ask you if you can play, I can play one of your PS5 games, I can play it via streaming. I said, yes. He goes, I have nothing to fucking say to you.
Yeah, you know what I would have said?
And
too?
I was like,
That's
debate
crazy.
over.
You
And
know,
I- you know what I-
you want to know what I would have said too to him?
Yeah, go ahead.
If
My
you would have
bad.
asked me that question, I'd be like, that's what I would have did. He would have knew what that was. He was like, let me see it. Let me see.
Bro, you know, the fact that this is not like known in the industry, like no one's talking about this shit, it's kind of Sony's fault. That got to be a communication issue, bro.
No. They showed it.
No, they showed it, but like they're not pushing it.
but
It's
they
not something
showed
that
it,
they
but they
push.
showed
Nobody's
it
pushing
easily.
This is
PlayStation,
something
they
that
ain't paying them.
everybody who's
Oh,
looking to get a
wait.
PlayStation 5
So
should know.
wait.
Even
Panel.
these
Wait.
fucking bots,
Panel. Hold on.
they should know this shit.
Hold on, panel. We are going to talk about that. Oh, we're going to address it.
Okay, let's get it.
King
My
gonna
bad.
talk
I'm
about
jumping
this.
the gun.
The next you keep jumping the damn gun. This is why we have the next subject as being for room for improvement. That's what that's there for. But we're gonna finish.
You can talk about PlayStation shit, get a little exciting. Got him.
That's the conversation. Yo, that's the conversation that we had yesterday. The conversation was there was no news. I was like, Kieran, why don't we just fucking geek out on PlayStation? Why don't we just do that? Just geek out. You know what I mean? Let's talk about it. So next thing is cultivating studios. Cultivating studios. They help out from software immediately. They didn't have to do that. They don't own From Software, but they made them a fucking mega force in the industry. You know what I'm saying? Fucking Capcom wasn't going to be anywhere as big as it was if it wasn't for the original PlayStation. Anyway, I'm jumping ahead of myself. Black, how do you see them cultivating studios that they don't own? Which ones?
They don't own. Fuck, man. Shit, Capcom, they were basically, you just brought up Capcom. Capcom wasn't gonna make Street Fighter 5 if it wasn't for Sony. The fact that Sony partnered with them and basically saved Capcom's ass because they made a bunch of bad decision making the previous gen before leading up into the PlayStation 4. They made really bad decisions and they weren't able, they couldn't even fund their own games at that point.
800 fucking people made Resident Evil 5? 6.
800?
Like it was like 800 fucking people.
Holy fuck! You could do that with
crazy,
like 100 PlayStation people.
It was such a fucking waste. Capcom owes PlayStation and every generation they owe them for something. Monster Hunter wouldn't have been shit without Sony. But all right, Jeremy, what's your examples?
For what?
Oh,
Well, they ain't telling us a lot of them, but they got Firewalk working for them, Deviation. Who knows how else? Like Jim Ryan said, we're making a lot of deals behind the scenes quietly,
right.
and they're letting you know as they fucking see fit. There's no insiders in PlayStation. We know when they tell us.
Yeah, they closing that fucking shit down.
Yeah, they locked that shit down. They got them all with implants. They'll detonate that shit.
All right, Ken. What about you? And Ken, check your phone, please.
I just saw it. Um, yes, to answer your question, yes. As far as what you were asking,
Yes. How many do you want? Yes.
yes.
That shit always kill me, yo. How fake do you want this to be? Yes.
Yes. So, okay, so as far as Sony like cultivating studios that aren't their own, I mean, I think Housemarque is a great example. You know what I'm saying? Obviously they went from doing things like Resogun and all those other games, right? Alienation, Matterfall,
Whoa, whoa.
into something like Returnal, which is obviously very relevant. You know what I'm saying? You mentioned From Software. They worked with From Software and they brought us Bloodborne. That actually they worked with them twice, with Bloodborne and Demon Souls, the original one, and they worked with Bluepoint to bring the shit back. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
The whole industry really owes some because fucking Kojima wouldn't have been or Konami wouldn't have been big. Anyway,
Konami already was big.
no,
They
no,
just
no,
killed themselves.
no. But the fucking Silent Hill, it gave them credence. It gave them clout.
Bitch, you never played Castlevania or Contra or Ninja Turtles or goddamn, you're
Silent
young.
Hill and Metal Gear
You're
Solid
older
was
than-
Silent Hill and Metal Gear Solid are much bigger.
They didn't
Much
sell
bigger.
more, probably.
I mean, yeah, they did. Not Silent Hill, but Metal Gear for sure.
Metal Gear sold like 3 or 4 million copies.
Metal Gear was selling like 5 million a piece on PS2.
I was talking PS1, but
Oh, PS2 was 700 or 7 million.
well, that was on Xbox too.
So, then we almost done. Fucking relax, niggas. Relax. I'm geeking.
You never played Turtles in Time? Shit.
Turtles in time.
So
I mean,
that,
there are plenty.
that kind of ties into helping non-owned studios. You know what I'm saying? Even with I'm surprised nobody mentioned this shit. Insomniac, niggas. Insomniac was getting fucking the fucking
Spyro.
Spyro, Resistance Fall, man. They were helping them out the whole time, and then they made Spider-Man was like, let's just buy these niggas, yo. Let's just scoop them up. Real
They
quick.
should have. I think they wanted to do it long time ago, but I think they wanted to stay
kept saying no.
independent.
They said no a couple
Yeah.
of times, and then
I think working with Microsoft opened their eyes that this shit ain't gonna get no better. So.
And then lastly, I want to say this: they introduced pride to their products. You know what I mean? Yo, what's going on, Devil? They
What's up,
introduced
Devil
a lot
Shooter?
of pride to their products. You know, there's a certain care when they advertise and when they speak about things like Uncharted or things like The Last of Us or even Ratchet and Clank. They let their studios make special gifs. You know what I mean? And they just have a pride in their IPs in that regards. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about that, Black?
Yo, Sony knows they're a bad bitch with a big ass booty.
Oh,
Thanks, but they just got that level of quality, man. They gotta have one of the best fucking quality assurance team, man. Like they fucking they on point. They want nothing but the best quality, and that's with a recent statement that's coming out from your man's. You know what I'm saying? Who was that? Herman Hulse or was that the other
No,
dude?
it was Jim Ryan. He was like, "Yo,
Jim
we don't
Ryan.
we don't we don't fuck with no okay games. We want the
You know what I'm
best."
saying? He said we,
yeah,
we want the
yeah,
best
right.
games.
I
They
don't
trying
really
to level
like
it up.
business guys, but he fucking does speak truth though. Like nobody remember that mediocre shit.
Nobody wants to play okay games. Nobody remembers those. When you talk about video games, normally the best games come up into the conversation.
Iron
Yep.
You know?
Fist. What's going on, my
Yo,
bro?
yo, what's good, Iron Fist? What's up, bro?
Iron Fist.
PlayStation culture.
Yo, so all right. So what about you, Ken? What do you think about their qualities? Do you think that's a statement? You know,
Bro.
them caring about it. What's one example that you feel like they cared about their, you know, their IPs?
Man, I mean, pretty much fucking. Well, I'm not gonna say all of them,
Yeah, please
but
don't.
no. I'm not gonna say all of them, but obviously, like their IP, like Uncharted. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, they're giving a lot of attention to things like Horizon. I mean, they know that they have some big IP. God of War, you know what I'm saying? They know that whenever they talk about these games, people are gonna talk about this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna make headlines, you know? And that's just like you said, having pride in your product, man. You know that you have a good product. You put a lot of time into it. You spent a lot of time and money to cultivate the studios to bring this shit into the industry. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm gonna act like this is a good product.
I'm gonna act
It's a
like
good
I'm
idea.
gonna act like I'm a bad bitch. Shit, you gonna have to pay me. I'm gonna be an Instagram thought. You know. You want
Yeah,
some of this? Fucking $3,000 a night for
yeah,
this
man. And
for this
even
pussy.
even stuff like Returnal, man. You know, before
They
Housemark
charged they
was,
charged $70 for that shit and was like, yo, I'm so certain that you will like this shit. I'm gonna charge $70 for it because I know my worth, bitch.
bro, they had the whole PlayStation Studio stamp of approval on that game.
Everybody was
Yo.
like, damn. What
They
about
kept
you?
throwing money at that game. Did you see that article on there where they were like, "Well, it was planned to be a lot smaller, but PlayStation just kept in come." They're like, "We love what you're doing. Here's more money.
And what about
Make it
you?
bigger. Make it better. Make it better."
What about you, Jeremy?
Mm.
What is your example?
Of what? PlayStation elevating the game?
No. PlayStation and them having pride. What's one example that we
Well,
haven't
they
mentioned?
do. I don't know. To be honest, it seems like combatives right now of they fight each other for what is the top game on the market right now. It's like an interior. What do you want to call it? War, but
Yeah.
like a friendly war.
I
Studios being
love that.
competitive with each other. Yeah.
Yo,
Yeah.
I love that, dude. I really love that.
It's
That's one of
funny
the things that I love about them.
when you're a part of when you have been a part of PlayStation's culture for this many years. Um,
Famous plug.
shameless plug. You see the pride that they had. It was almost like they were filling around in the dark, right? And then when PS3 happened and people really recognized the quality, you know what I'm saying? It was like now we can make movies. Now we can throw $10 million an episode for The Last of Us. You know what I mean, on HBO because we know our product. We can make movies now. You know what I'm saying? They they put this shit in Fortnite. They want people to see it, and when they see the IPs, they be like, "Oh, I didn't know there was an exclusive game for it. Let me take a look here. Let me take a look." And then they see the quality, such as what you see the video over there. You got fucking Horizon, Forbidden West. I can't. I can't. I'm trying not to say anything about this game, yo, because this is like my most anticipated game in the last like fucking what 5 years. I'm just,
You
I'm
know what's You know what's
so
funny?
fucking hyped.
I kept saying
You just
before
want
the
that
demo
bacon
came
strip.
out, I was like, if Horizon had these little problems that I don't like, I might have liked it more than God of War. And when I watched the demo, I was like, fuck, they fixed it all.
All of it, and
So
then
now
some,
I don't
and
know.
then some.
I don't know which I'm more anticipated for now because it might be Horizon over God of War.
Like, can
To
you
be
Yo,
honest,
imagine?
Josh,
Yeah.
check your phone, man.
So, um, but that's it. So that's how I feel like it. That's how I feel. But we pretty much exhausted those things. These are the subjects that we felt like Sony has elevated the game, and I just wanted to give you a reminder for the niggas that forgot about Dre. There you go. So that being said, on to the next room for improvement. What can Sony do to fucking improve? What can Sony do to improve? There's a lot of things that Sony needs to fucking fix. And I know Black is just itching.
Actually, I ain't got much to say, man.
I ain't
There are
got
some
much,
things,
but
of
I have a
course.
list. Hold on.
I got. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to, keep barking up the wrong. Keep repeating the same shit over and over again. I want to beat the dead cow or the horse, bro. You know what I'm saying? But we talked about this in the past, and actually, I feel like they kind of improved upon it in the last few couple of months. You know what I'm saying? And we talked about the my number one thing for them to be improved upon was the communication. But
Ooh.
since then, I feel since I was talking about that with you, and I believe this is like the first thing I talked about it with you as a conversation. We're so, Josh. So that conversation was around the communication and the Horizon 60 FPS patch. I was really pissed off about it. Since then, I got so much games to play. I don't even give a fuck anymore. But you know what I'm saying? So if they do it, they do it. I'm like, at this point, I'm like, whatever, bro. You know what I'm
You
saying?
got so
Like,
many
but
games that fuck it.
Not only that, but they
because I
got
couldn't have it at some point, I was just obsessing over it for like I want to say like the first 5 months of the fucking PlayStation since PlayStation 5 dropped. So, but
Black is a passionate fucking dude when it comes to PlayStation. He's low key, but this nigga is passionate, yo. He was loud as shit, yo. That nigga, he turned black. Why can't I have it? For what? Why? I want it. I want the 60 frames. Why not? I'm like, damn.
That's
I still
damn.
do want it. I still do
I
want it because
mean,
I
Hey,
want
how
to
do you
replay
remember
for.
that shit, bro?
I mean, yo,
I remember it too.
I was
yo,
like,
I mean,
Black.
you-
I was like, Black. You not let me speak. Oh no. Go on. Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, I
Give me
mean,
that shit.
I mean, you
That's
were the same way
horrible,
with Horizon 2, yo.
It is. The thing is, Horizon Forbidden West is going to have 60 frames, and it's a better game than the first one. So I mean, I get it.
I know, but I still not all of us have beaten it 12 times.
I'm playing it tonight.
I know you play it every night, but not all of us have
Shut
beaten it
up,
12
man. I
times.
don't like that shade, man. I'm not feeling that shade. But
I
anyway,
want to play it. I want to play it again, and I just want it to be a little smoother. That's all.
the 40
Because I like to before I play a game that I really love, like a new Metal Gear comes out or something, or when God of War comes out. I didn't do it. I don't think last time because it's gotten to be a lot higher number. But I usually go through and play the whole series, unless it's something with like 6 or more entries.
No, I feel you. No, I definitely understand. What's going on is Ezo. So I'm actually, I feel like I've talked too fucking much. I'm gonna pass this shit over to you, yo. I feel like this is more your forte because I don't bitch and moan all the time. Yeah, go on, please.
What?
I mean, look, man. A lot of my gripes with like Sony improving on shit was some of the stuff to do with the PS5 and how some of the features didn't translate over to the from the PS4 to the PS5. But I mean, there's some other things too, man. In all honesty, man, that I feel like that they could work on. You know what I'm saying? One of the biggest ones that I noticed, besides what Black said, you're goated for that one, yo. I'm not gonna lie, yo. Yo, Josh was like, yo, the communication is fine, bro. This shit is fine, man. I'm like, but I mean, aside from the whole communication thing, I'm not gonna stay on that one. But in my personal opinion, I feel like they need to do better with their multiplayer, and I don't mean just like have multiplayer on their or more multiplayer on their platform, because we know that they're obviously working on that. You know what I'm saying? They have whatever Deviation Games and some of the other studios that they're working with, right?
Firewalk, Haven.
Firewalk, yeah, all that stuff, right? So
That's
I'm
just
not
the ones we know about.
yeah. So I'm not gonna like harp on it in terms of like they're not trying to get multiplayer onto their platform, more of it. My angle on the whole multiplayer situation is the quality of the studios that they collaborate with. So right now, and I will say this as a caveat, because right now we don't know like what Firewalk, Haven, or Deviation Games are working on. So whatever they might be working on, this shit might be fire. I don't know. We don't know yet. We don't have enough information. However, like when I think about some of the other games that they brought to the platform, I'm thinking of games like Predator. You know what I'm saying? Predator and freaking they were working with Ilphonic. Nigga, nobody heard about that fucking studio until they came out with that shit. And the game was trash. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, they had what you call it? The Destruction All Stars that just came out, a few months ago, back in February. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they need to get better with, sort of finding the right studios to collaborate with to bring good multiplayer experiences. So, because I don't know, like, and to see the other thing about it too is that like when with Destruction All Stars, for example, they literally put the PlayStation Studios logo on that game. You know what I'm saying? As if it was a stamp of approval for for PlayStation quality, and it just wasn't. It just wasn't up to standard. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, when it comes to Destruction All Stars, if I could comment on that real quick, I feel like that game was the perfect. Well, how they handled the marketing and everything was a perfect shitstorm. Like they went, remember the game was
Yeah,
coming
it's
out
like
first. They're
after
gonna
they
charge
saw it, they're
$70
like,
for it
nah.
first. Yeah,
They're
there was
like,
just so
nah.
much shit going on, man, and
I
the
think it
fact
was
that
low
they,
on their priority list, so they
yeah,
didn't
just
really.
I definitely from playing the game needed maybe another year of development, in my opinion,
Yeah,
right?
I think the
It's,
game was not bad. There just wasn't
mhm.
enough there to keep me interested.
You know what it
Yeah, I mean,
was?
I think the game was fun, but it was missing some things for sure
You know what it
after
was?
playing it.
I think what it was that Lucid Studios, right? They just didn't have a full idea of what they wanted the game to be.
I do
You know what I'm
too,
saying?
because to
I could
be
agree with
honest, when
that.
I thought about that game, I was like, oh, it's either gonna be like Twisted Metal or Destruction All Stars, and it was kind of like they slapped those two together and then just rubbed it together a little bit, and then left out some of the shit and just kind of threw it out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
If you ever played Destruction All Stars, like I'd be all for that, or Twisted Metal, but it was kind of like they wanted to do a little of each, but not well on each. I don't know.
We literally had like no racing games at launch except for Dirt 5. They could, when I was asking them about the game, and I know they can't develop this shit like in one day or two or a couple of months. I know it's gonna take them some time. I'm like, yo, y'all need to add a fucking racing mode to this shit and just have it like kind of like a Mario Go Kart but without the weapons. That'd be dope as hell. You know what I'm saying? You can see all of it while you're racing. That'd have been cool, man. I was like, man, this will get me hooked if y'all actually had a racing mode. You know what I'm saying? Because the crashing people after a while, to me, the game loop becomes a little boring. You know what I'm saying? It was cool to cut on, get a couple of games in, and then cut off type thing. But like as you see, like the player base right now is like abysmal. It's like barely anybody on.
that shit is
They
dead,
had
yo.
to merge the EU server with the US server because the lack of players in the US server. So
Yeah,
it's
they just didn't
crazy.
have a full idea of like what the game was supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? And then when you play it, you could feel it. You could feel that there was just shit missing in the game. You know what I'm saying? You're like, yo, like they had like three game modes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And it was all the same shit. You know, and you're just like, yo, what the fuck, yo? Like, come on, what? One of my biggest issues with them, man. Like they need to work on, you know, what's funny though? Because when it comes to their single player games, they do very well to vet studios for single player games. When it comes to multiplayer games, them niggas they don't know left, right. They don't know shit from applesauce, yo.
the
I'm like, come
facts.
on. I'm
Alien
just like,
versus Predator. I'm not saying Alien. Jesus Christ, the Predator game, bro. That shit could have been. That game wasn't a bad game. I actually had fun with it. Yeah, any of y'all play that game?
yeah, yeah, I
I
played
was
it.
thinking
Predator
about
joint,
picking it up actually. I liked Friday the
Hunting
13th.
Grounds.
I don't
Yeah,
mind Ilphonic. I think they're a good double A studio. It just
I feel
kind
like
of.
if that game had a
I think they
PlayStation
have to
5
pay too much
update,
for the
bro, I think
licenses
they would have did a little better because they didn't even bother giving it an update, and that's
they're getting.
exclusive.
So
That's it's ridiculous, bro.
they
It's
made.
missed
They're
opportunity
working
for
on
sure.
Arcade again now. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
see,
it's crazy, man.
I
But
tried
and
that
that's
game
pretty
too.
good. I liked
It's
it.
okay. You played it?
I'm gonna play more when I gotta get some stuff out, but I want to get a teammate in that game.
so here's another thing, man. And Josh would probably be able to talk a little bit more about this one because he had some pretty interesting like perspectives on this. But advertising their ideas, like their unique ideas, a little bit better. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like Dreams, for example, is a
Yeah, that did
perfect
not get
example.
enough.
Perfect example of a game that is incredibly unique. You know what I'm saying? That really you haven't really seen too many people do, but it's like, how do you market that game to people? You know what I'm saying? How? You know, like I don't know, Josh. Because you had some shit that you had some stuff on that one.
It's a shame that there's so many things that they kind of missed the boat on. Truthfully,
They have too much shit.
and that's one of the things. I think truthfully they were spread thin. Honestly, I think that's what ends up happening with them. They get spread thin and they just miss it. They just miss the fucking mark, and it's unfortunate. Um, but here we are. Let me try to see what we have here. I apologize.
No, I mean I remember because we were talking about this a while back. You know about like some things that they could probably do to help, say, a game like Dreams to market the game. You know what I'm saying? Like put some of the games onto the PlayStation Net. I mean, yeah, like PlayStation Network or on the UI. You know something. You know what I'm saying? Right now, it feels like they have such a great idea, but it's like,
Put a couple
we,
into the free to play. You mean?
yeah, something. You know what I'm saying? maybe put something on like you were saying, Josh. Put something on the UI. Maybe do like I don't know, like cycle out every month or something like that. I don't know, man. Something along those lines, just to get the game in front of people. To let them know like, yo, this is something that we have to offer on our platform, and this is a way that you can experience it. You know what I'm saying?
This might seem a little bit taboo because we got some hardcore PlayStation fans up in here, but maybe they should put Dreams on PC, bro. It's in line with their business plan, right? What they
I
want to do.
actually would like that just to have more people creating on it.
Yeah, that'll open up the player base, and people on Twitch will stream that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I think that'll open up things. Maybe that's an easy way. I don't know if it's an easy way, but they got the studio they just purchased, which is great for doing
You
those
got people that mod all the
ports.
time, so
Yeah, so I think
Well,
it's definitely sad that that Dreams isn't as big as because I haven't bought the game yet, but the scenes that I've seen, I'm like, wow, you know what I'm saying? But
if
they
you were
haven't
ever on
really
a
done shit like
budget,
that.
you could roll into that and find something to do to occupy your time all the time. Though I just have too many goddamn games to spend a lot of time in
True.
it.
I mean,
I
personally, like
beat that Waluigi, or I got still beat that Waluigi though. That's actually pretty hard. Shrek's a pain in the ass.
I mean,
Yeah.
personally, like I said before, personally, when it comes to like, I wouldn't mind it to be on PC. I was never really opposed to it being on PC in the first place. I
It's
feel
not really a game though; it's a game creator, so it's kind of a different.
right. So the
I don't
whole
know.
thing that makes this whole situation crumble, right, is this is the thing that makes everything crumble. People are creating things for free, and they somehow need to get the monetary. They got to get paid somehow. You know what I mean? It's not all charity.
Mm.
Eventually, people are going to want to get paid, and it's like, well, how do you pay them? What's the biggest problem? You can put it on PC and stuff like that. And I guess on PC there's modders and stuff like that. I would even go as far as to say that it kind of needs to be built into PS Plus. But at the same time, again, they won't get paid. But there's on PC now that I'm thinking about it, there's modders that do shit for free.
You don't necessarily have to pay them,
You
man.
you
I
you
mean,
you can make money off of dreams too. I don't know if you
you
know
could
that,
just
but
you could give them clout, man. Clout. These days, man, if you give people clout, that's better than fucking currency. And sometimes, you know what I'm saying?
they
People
have
just want to
Yo,
awards. They
they just
have
want to be
games that
celebrated.
they
You
do
can
pay.
celebrate them.
yo,
You're not
look
gonna
at
get rich, but people
look
do
at
make
Game
money off
Pass.
that.
Look at Game Pass, man. That's
Game
literally
Pass
what these
is
guys are.
dreams.
Yo, facts, man.
No, no, no.
Celebrate.
I'm just saying, like playing off of what Black is saying. Sometimes they just want clout. You know what I'm saying? Look at
Yeah.
Game Pass. Nigga, it's like,
They could tweet these fools out. Hey, man, you can only play this on Dreams. You know what I'm saying? This is the maker of it. Check him out. Follow him on Twitter. They could just easily do something as easy as short as that. Follow them on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Something as small as that. If they're a content creator, you know what I'm saying. You like you said, you can bring them up, have prop them up, help them out.
Yeah, I mean, it could
They would
be.
love that.
I mean,
I
personally,
mean,
yeah. Go on. I'm sorry.
no, I mean, I was just gonna kind of keep it moving. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because, and this kind of like falls in line with it a little bit, because you were mentioning PS Home, PlayStation Home. About one being able to market their ideas, but also one of the other issues that you kind of mentioned before was just having their ideas being fully fleshed out, essentially. You know what I'm saying? I know you had a lot to say about that one, man.
About home?
Yeah, about PlayStation Home, how it wasn't like a fully fleshed out like idea when they had it back on the PS3.
Um, there was a lot of stumbling when it came to PlayStation Home. My bad. There was a lot of stumbling when it came to PlayStation Home. A lot of it. They didn't know exactly what to do, and they bumped into a lot of pitfalls when it came to this, right? So originally, PlayStation Home was supposed to be something where it you whatever your they would get their advertisements from the banners and advertisements within that environment. That's how they tried to work it. You know what I'm saying? And eventually, what ended up happening was it fell through. You know what I mean? It turns out that you couldn't because you was also supposed to have whatever's on your hard drive. You're supposed to be able to broadcast that to other people, but of course Especially with how YouTube is now. That's basically stealing from the people. Music was also another thing too. You was able to share. You can't do that either. The only thing you could share is pictures at that point in time. So it warped into something else. You know what I'm saying? And they never had a beat on what they were trying to do. So that was a big issue. It could have been big, and it could have. It's it really, to me, what this goes into is what do you call it? It goes into personally, and we fully flesh out your ideas instead of half baking them. That's, to me, that's what it goes into. Absolutely, like there's a lot of ideas that they have that was really good, and they don't follow through with it. They don't follow through with the swing
Did you have any other examples?
in terms of.
Yeah, like fully fleshed out ideas that they kind of just didn't really follow through with. It kind of fell through, kind of thing.
I would even say too is the PlayStation remasters, PS2 remasters. They started that and fucked that one up. You know what I mean? And they didn't advertise that properly. So that's how I
You
feel.
s- do you still think it's like an issue that they have now? You know what I'm saying? Like,
They're a little more exact in what they do now, just due to over time. It's kind of hard to tell with this generation just kind of starting. You know what I mean? So I'm not exactly
yeah,
sure how that would be.
Devil Shooter said PS Home would be great in today's gaming climate. It needs to be integrated into the PS UI. I think it would be too, bro, to be honest with you. I think PS Home, if obviously there's a lot of information going like coming out that it's, possibly coming back or whatever, right? I think it would be great personally, especially now that they're trying to get into VR more. They're revamping their VR where they're, whatever, adding like new technology to the VR, haptics and all that type of stuff, right? 3D audio, whatever, right? PS Home would be perfect, man, for stuff like that. Um, I mean, I don't really know how else they would expand on it though, really, because make it open world, add I don't know, like more social aspects or whatever.
You could add mini games that you could buy for like $1.99 a piece or something.
Um,
Bowling, darts, whatever, ping pong.
Yeah, man.
There's all kinds of stuff you could do. You could open up the VR too.
Yeah, I feel like it would fit perfectly, man. Like with things like with the VR and all that type of stuff, man. Honestly, I can't wait to see it. Hopefully they make the improvements that they need to. Like from some of the downfalls that the original one had. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. Like Josh said, it's kind of early in the generation, so we don't really know how they're going to start kind of working on that
Think
type of
about
stuff.
it, dude. You could add mini games. You could have archery and shit like that. You pay like $2.99 or $4.99 or whatever, and you get archery. And you can go play archery with your friends or something, or gladiator. Kind of like did you ever play that Move Sports game, Sports Champions or whatever?
I never played it, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like that. That was actually really fun. That's the only thing I use my move for.
I'm wondering if they're gonna do, like you know how you know how they have like some of those games, right, where you can sort of um like you do like a cosplay online or whatever. Like if they do that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Basically everything like in PlayStation Home. I don't know. I remember we were talking about, what if they do like game demos and stuff like that where you can like maybe go to a certain section of PlayStation Home and maybe interact with the demos and shit like that. I don't know. I think that'd be kind of cool, man. Um, you just have to wait and see, man. But it was definitely, in terms of like before, it was definitely like not a fully fleshed out idea. But I don't know. Obviously they have the opportunity to maybe bring it back and fix that sort of stuff. But just to keep it moving along here, man. One of the other things that I have a big issue with PlayStation that I really feel like they need to work on, especially given the direction that they're trying to go, with this whole like live service and all that type of stuff, right? Is PS Now, right? Obviously, they're doing more with their cloud gaming, and they want to whatever, get more people into the idea of doing cloud gaming and all that type of stuff, and PC, whatever, right? I think PS Now needs to be revamped, basically, man. To be honest with you, man, because it's really, I know that they're trying to add more content to it, um,
They
but
have. What they really changed was they used to have whatever games they added to the service were on there forever. So they never got a whole lot of big games on there other than the games that they launched with. Now they have some that go that are usually first or second party, and then some that are temporary, like a Game Pass game. So, for example, this month you got Judgment and RDR2. Those are on the service for whatever 4 months or whatever. That's why I'm playing RDR2. I own it, but I want to play it on PlayStation and I have it on Xbox. And then Judgment, and then you got Tokyo Olympics, which pisses me off because I just bought it right 2 weeks before it came to
Damn.
that service, and it's permanent. and then Neo 2's permanent, God of War is permanent. Whatever the other game was is permanent.
I think one of the biggest things that they need to do is definitely make a lot of their games more downloadable. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know, maybe it's just me because my internet's trash, but like that whole streaming games over the internet just doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? At least not in my situation. And it'd be cool, if you would just be able to like say, I don't know, because I think there's some complications when it comes to the PS3 games.
Yeah,
Them
there's
being able to be
cell
downloaded.
processor.
Yeah, but that's
That's why
I
they
feel like,
don't.
yo, Black, you got anything to say about it, man?
Downloadable games would fucking be amazing, especially for some of the PS3 titles. But I already know that it's an issue because, like he just mentioned, the cell processor and their
They would
design.
have already done it if it was an option.
Yeah, it definitely. This was their solution for that in some ways. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think it's good enough. But it's this is not their focus, obviously, because they would have had something out already. It looks like they might have. We've seen some of the some of the tech that they're working on in terms of the patents and shit. It might not come to fruition. It might come to fruition. We'll see how things go. But for sure, it looks like they're at least thinking about it in some way because they wouldn't have anybody doing research and development for it, right?
I wish they just ditched some of the games that are cross gen, like say Battlefield Hardline. They have the PS3 copy. Like, pay the extra money, ditch that shit, get the PS4 copy so you can download it. There's
Devil
no
Shooter
reason to
said
have that.
Devil Shooter said the only way people will like PS Now is if Sony did day and date like with their first party games. I don't
That
agree
shit
with
would
that.
be expensive as fuck.
Nah,
I don't agree with that. I think that they could make PS Now more attractive, without necessarily putting their first party games day and date on the service. You
They're
know,
putting a lot of their first and second party later on. That's
they
what I
are.
think that they need to do.
I mean, like for example, like with well, I don't know, man, because with PS Plus, man, they started adding like some other smaller games day one, like obviously like Destruction All Stars and what was that other game? The Odd World and all that, right?
Control PS5 edition, like
Yeah,
day one.
yeah,
Uh,
Final Fantasy 7, you know.
the one we got this month. It's a great game too. I play it. It's a really good game. I'm gonna play it again. It's on my list too, but since I got it in Plus, I'm not in a hurry. Um, A Plague's Tale, Innocence, PS5 edition, day one.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Uh if they found some solution, right? Like what Black was saying, some of their patents with the backwards compatibility and all that type of stuff. If they implemented that into PS Now and then they sort of like dropped whatever, like even smaller not first party games, but just newer games like Destruction All Stars and stuff like that into the service, it would make it more attractive. You know what I'm saying?
See,
I
for
think
me,
so.
it doesn't bother me, but I got pretty fast internet, and it's been upgraded since before. If you can do 1080p now, and like if I'm playing Metal Gear Solid 4, I don't mind if there's a little bit of latency because it's not a game where I'm playing an online shooter or something. And you're not going to play a PS3 online shooter anyways because most of the rooms are closed. So the games that you're going to play on there outside of fighters, really, it doesn't really matter too much. If you're going to play Batman Arkham City, can you have a little latency? Is it going to bother you that bad? It's not going to bother you that bad. But if you're playing Call of Duty, it's going to bother the shit out of you because you're going to die.
Josh, wake your ass up. What do you think about it, man?
What part?
About PS Now and how they can improve on it.
I kind of want them to combine it with the PlayStation Now. Honestly, I'm PlayStation Plus rather.
Plus.
Um,
Mm.
I mean, because what you're asking for is it to be, you're still asking for backwards compatibility, essentially. You know what I mean? You can't do PS3 games because it's the nature of it. I don't know. Wait, before I go on, Psycho, are you in or what's going on, man? I see you muted.
He's always like that. He's always in and it's Edward. He's always in and muted, but he never really show up.
I'm here.
Oh, you are okay.
So you are, yeah, okay.
Well, he's come in before, and I've never heard a
They
peep
put
from him,
respect
so.
on my name.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's good.
what's your take on all this? Improvements for Sony.
Honestly, if it came to PlayStation Now, right? Service wise, they're doing PS4, right? Are they doing any Vita games as well? I don't have the service, so I'm asking.
It's a great point. No.
No.
So I think personally, if they're going to kill the Vita stores, which they're planning on doing, they need to bring back everything. Now, if you can get modders and people to go on a computer and emulate PS3 games, there's no reason why Sony can't do that, right? You would think so. If you have people out there that are knowledgeable about doing it and putting it on PC, definitely they can do that. I think they're waiting. They're letting Game Pass have their sign, right? And we all know that PlayStation has like the catalog of old school games. I think they're just waiting and trying to port over it. That's why they're killing the Vita store. That's why they're definitely waiting on bringing PS3 games with also the update for the new graphic engine of AMD, the Fidelity, right? Which is only going to make those games pop even more. There are going to be some games that are going to get remastered. But if you get all of this, which is, again, early in trial with the Fidelity FX, we will see these games eventually. That's my thought. They're just not going to put it out yet. They're going to let Game Pass get everybody into playing like the older games, having this list of games. You also have to remember too. This is my thought, that with Discord and with Netflix coming up and PlayStation 5 in partnership with them, this will all be built in to a service.
Wait,
Even when they said,
was
oh,
that
go ahead.
officially confirmed? The whole Netflix thing?
I think
They're
that was debunked,
partnering.
actually.
Well, hold on. Not when it comes to gaming. I know that
It's for
that's still
movies.
going, but that's for movies, right? Which would also make me think, if you guys remember, I've been a long time. I'm an old motherfucker, so bear with me. On PS3, if I remember correctly, right, with PlayStation Home, I tried it out a couple of times, and there was actually a feature in that where you can link up with your friends, and they had a room within PS Home, which you could actually sit down and watch a matinee, like a movie. Somebody would stream it, you would have one person doing that. Now, if PlayStation is actually allowing people to, well, all of Sony's movies coming forward will have a 3 month, I think 3 to 6 month release window before it gets moved over to Netflix. Now, let's just say we'll use Venom, or even better yet, we'll use Spider-Man, No Way Home, right? Which is going to have huge implications to Marvel Insomniac Spider-Man, right? Imagine having PlayStation Home and you link up with your friends to watch that movie in PlayStation Home. I'm not saying VR because I don't think it's just going to be tied to that. I think you're going to be able to link up with your community via Discord as well as PlayStation Network to be able to view things like that. Now, imagine doing that with games as well. It just adds up way too perfectly. But they're not going to pull that trigger because they have to have. Oh, damn dogs is barking in the background.
Yeah, I could agree with you with everything except for the movie sharing, because that's like gonna be something that's gonna be hard for them to monetize. People watching movies for free and shit. But I
If you have a
definitely think
net,
they got big plans for emulating or at least You know what I'm saying? Bringing some type of new backwards compatibility feature because they don't want to lose all those IPs. I mean, just having all those IPs not being able to be played, it just don't make any sense money wise. It's got a whole bunch of
James,
stuff
right?
sitting there.
100 on that. As far as IPs of movies, though, if they're already partnering with Netflix, right, and they've already have a contract in place where
Hmm.
you're able to watch Sony movies, I can attest to like The Last of Us and HBO. Granted, HBO Max, I'm for sure you'll be able to watch it that way.
Hmm.
But as far as their movies go, their licensed movies, as far as Marvel is going to be a little bit different, but anything Sony Pictures, as far as like Venom or anything else that Sony is representing as far as movies go. Oh, I'm sure like the whole video pass that they were saying months ago that Sony may be looking into that. I think that's going to be tied into this experience that they're going to be bringing us
I
for
think so
sure.
too. To be honest, I was actually going to say that because, um, they did bring out the fact that they were doing like a trial version. I believe it was like in Ireland or some shit like that. Or
Yeah.
No, it was Poland. I think that's what it was. Um, but I feel like I don't know. It might be like where they start sort of like mixing and matching some of the services. You know what I'm saying? Like PS Plus, PS Now, and also PlayStation or whatever it's called, PlayStation Video Pass or whatever it's called, right? Um, and integrating that into home and stuff like that, and you even mentioned Discord, which I didn't even think about that, to be honest with you, man. Like if they integrated Discord like using PlayStation Home and whatnot, yeah, man, that'd be a fucking place to be.
Right. Also, side subject. So, I follow a couple of people. This is not huge, but there's a YouTuber out there by the name of FOMO. I don't know if you guys follow him or not about TVs and stuff.
Yeah.
But he had an interview most recently, I want to say about a month ago, 2 months ago, talking about Sony's new lineup of TVs, right? And if you guys haven't heard about it, this also goes to like the chat. There is a feature within the new Sony TVs called the Braviacore, which of course, Sony PlayStation is not going to have said feature. They're just pushing their television or their TV lineup for this. It's called Braviacore, which is going to allow you to stream 4K UHD content, kind of like Vudu, kind of like the streaming service that we have now, but you can do that on the go. Now, when it comes to PlayStation, just scratching my head on this. When it comes to PlayStation, right? Imagine having that service with you on the go, right? We all know that PlayStation is looking at mobile, right? And if you have that feature available to you, again, this may be baked into whatever offset they're going to do to the actual PlayStation lineup as far as the console goes. But if you can play your games on the go, again, with the experience of home, like it just all lines up to me when you look at it that way. And of course, like the Bravia Core is for the TVs, but there's no way that if they're implementing that to their TV lineup, that they won't move that over to the same brand that they're gaming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a Braviacore. I feel like they have too much going on with this Braviacore shit. You know what I'm saying? With just streaming services. So it's kind of hard to see what they're gonna do angle wise.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
definitely.
I guess we should kind of move
I'm
on.
sure Mark Cerny is in there fucking chopping it up, trying to figure out what the hell they're gonna do.
I don't know if he's really in charge of that though. Not that
I'm
part.
sure he has some
He's
type of.
technically a contractor, so he does a lot of different things, but I don't think he can technically work for Sony because he owns his own company. So he's a contractor per se.
He's a contractor.
Yeah, he doesn't actually work for Sony because I don't think he can like legally be paid like as a an employee because he owns his own company. Like
What's the name
conflict of
of his company,
interest.
by the way? Curious.
He's a contractor. He does a lot of contract work,
Outside
but
of
he's not
Sony, what else does he work on?
Cerny
Other than
Games.
back in the day.
I
He
think
owns
we
Cerny Games.
I think we pretty much exhausted that one, man. Unless you guys have anything else like you wanted to just kind of go over really quick. Any other small things before we move on to the next topic? Um, pass it back over to Josh.
Yeah. Well, before I move on to it, they need to fucking have better store and organizations for the PlayStation Plus for the items and stuff like that. That shit's annoying. That's mine. That I don't know why. That's where you make your money, and this shit is either bare bones or you have to jump through hoops to make that shit work. So there's that. But moving on, we got our last topic to talk about, which is more director's cuts. So,
Yay.
I said this before. Sony seemingly kind of went in on, they leaned into this director cut thing, and allowed to invigorate an IP. So the first one that they had coming out was the the Death Stranding one. It kind of makes sense, you know what I'm saying? Um, with that one, but now we have Ghost of Tsushima. And for video game edits and cuts, it doesn't work that way in terms of video games, but it is, I don't know, it's definitely like an intelligent marketing ploy to get people to buy it again. And I think I've said this like episodes ago where I was like, they must have gotten this idea from the Zack Snyder universe. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It just sounds like really nice. So, how would you guys feel if if uh if Sony decides to go this route with their games? You know what I mean? They come up with the DLC and for the single player games, since they do story driven single player games, I would imagine that would be cool. So, how would you guys take it? Let's go to Cycle.
I'm for it. There's a few titles that I think honestly will get it. Uh, Definitely The Last of Us. That's kind of a guarantee, and I also think that that's going to be the next one to be stated. I will also. I'm kind of like flip flop on God of War because something tells me, which would light the whole damn internet on fire, if Ragnarok ends up being DLC, I don't know how people are going to receive that. I don't think it's going to be in a positive
I
light,
think if
we'll
it was
say.
DLC, it would already be out.
Yeah, I don't think it's
Uh,
DLC, man. I think they would have already had it out if
What
that was
game
the
are you
case.
talking about?
Ragnarok.
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 Everyone says, well, they're gonna put it out in 4 years, and the first one took 5. It's like, yeah, but how many times did they start and scratch that game? They had to completely change their game engine for a whole new architecture. They had a whole different concept of a game. It's a lot less work to do the sequel than it was to do the original because you're completely overhauling the type of game that it is.
If
I
It's a
would agree
lot
with
more
you
work.
on that.
It's a lot more work
It is,
the first time
and
around.
knowing that they're probably using the same assets of the first one, right? Because
A lot of
sure,
them, yeah.
once God of War released, we all knew that they were probably back working on it like immediately, and there was probably a lot of content that got cut from that game. I would even go as so far as to say that maybe like if they did release a director's cut to God of War, that will probably follow Freya about like because we know well I don't know I hope at this point a lot of people have played that game and experienced it, which is amazing. But her being the leader of the Valkyries, that we get some type of asset there, explaining like her story, even if that
oh,
led into as far as the director's cut, adding on to the first game before they moved it over to Ragnarok. Um,
personally, personally, I don't think that they're going to do a director's cut for God of War. Um, and I think part of it is because one, they talked about the fact that they sort of moved over into making another game from the first one. Since they were like they talked about they were working on DLC and then it kind of transitioned into DLC to a new game. With the director's cuts like with Death Stranding and Ghost of Tsushima, for example, when they did those with those two games, what they're giving you are like expansions on the game that we already have. You know what I'm saying? They gave you like Ghost, they're giving you the Icky Island DLC as well as like updates to the game. You know what I'm saying? As far as like the features and whatever, taking advantage of the PS5 hardware or whatever the case, right? God of War, I feel like if they were going to do a director's cut, it more than likely would have to have some kind of, expansion DLC or something like that, and it just to me, I don't think it makes sense. If anything, God of War Ragnarok, and I personally, and by the way, I think it's going to be a full game, but if anything at all, if it's not a full game, it wouldn't be like DLC. It would probably be more like one of the standalone games, kind of like what we saw with Spider-Man, or like the Lost Legacy or something like that. Which, like I said, I don't even think it's that. I think it's a full game, but I don't think that's what they're gonna do personally.
I hear you on that, and I'm torn by that. As far as The Last of Us goes, though, there's a lot of content that can be used for that. I think definitely we're gonna get a director's cut for that. It could be the story of Abby. It could be the time period between Joel and after Sarah passed away. There's a lot of content that could be used there, even to the point of even
You could have
Marvel.
Joel and what is it, Sam or his brother, whatever shit that they did beforehand.
Yeah, there's a lot of different directions that The Last of Us can go. I think that's going to be the next one. And if you look at like the timeline of like Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us 2, and Death Stranding dropping, it's almost like they're doing it in reverse, right? Because Ghost of Tsushima came out after The Last of Us, correct?
Yep, almost
Or
right
was it-
after. It was like 5 weeks. 'Cause
Right.
I didn't even
So
finish
if-
the second playthrough.
Right, and there was also a toss-up of like how bad the media was on The Last of Us. Me personally, I love that game. It's probably like my top 5 games of all time. But that being said, like you look at like how Last of Us 2 came out, was released, and just the negativity, and again with the leaks and what have you, and then Ghost came out, which is again another phenomenal game. And look at how everybody was saying like the end of that, meaning Ghost, compared to the ending of Ellie. It was almost like what people wanted in Ghost that didn't happen in The Last of Us. It was like the best of both worlds. But then you see all the negativity behind that. So Neil Druckmann, mastermind behind The Last of Us. I think The Last of Us director's cut, as well as Last of Us factions, paired with like if they do a Last of Us remake, is just going to be it will literally on top of the movie coming out. You know what I mean? Like that's going to be the next director's cut. As far as any other games, I think we'll definitely see the mind that Nadir Jeter, Mr. Miles Morales himself, him taking that screenshot. Are they working on Spider-Man 2? That's a definite. I honestly believe that Spider-Man, for how well it was received and everybody is still playing it, or just around the world and how popular it is, that game needs a DLC. I'm of the mindset that that screenshot that was taken down has nothing to do with Spider-Man 2. I think he will be in the second game, and I think we will get co-op. But not to say that they would call Miles Morales DLC or Director's Cut or anything like that, but I think that we will get some type of DLC for Miles Morales before moving in, because you have to figure Insomniac is putting out bangers through and through, right? With Ratchet, with Miles. It only makes sense to give them a little bit more time to polish Spider-Man 2 by putting out a DLC.
See, I wouldn't say that.
Seriously?
Yeah, because Spider-Man 2 is too much of a big game to divert resources from just to make some DLC. I don't think that's going to happen at all.
That's true. I think they're farther in development than a lot of people think
not
too.
only that, but like in terms of The Last of Us, it got so much flack for what it did. I don't think that. I think the numbers in terms of the sales are not where they want it to be. So that I don't think that that's going to happen either. You know what I mean? There's a lot of promises within Naughty Dog, and they kind of fucked up a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like they're trying to salvage their reputation at the moment. You know what I mean? They created a divisive game, but ultimately it cut their proceeds in half. So I don't think they're doing DLC for that one. It will probably be a new IP.
Okay, keep going.
Well, I only say this is because, how much did it sell? Do you know?
But how many awards did it win?
I don't care about awards. They
That
made a lot of
don't
those
pay
awards.
the don't pay the bills.
As a level of for a company though.
No. My question is, Cycle, how much did The Last of Us sell? What was the number?
I don't know.
Right.
To be honest with you, I know.
How much is Ghost of Tsushima?
The base game?
The base game.
Isn't it going for like still retail price?
No. How many sales?
Oh, how many?
Yeah, how much did they sell?
I don't know. I mean, I can look it up real quick, but I can tell you the number right now.
Sony already gave them. They gave you the answer. 6 million.
Okay.
But we don't know the answer for The Last of Us, which is already an established IP. Why do you think that is?
How many did the first one sell? This is the real point. It was like 15 or 16 or 12. It was a lot more. It was over double.
20 million.
No, the first
Yeah,
Last
20
of Us sold
million.
over 20 million copies, dude.
Yeah, there you go.
But even
That
if
was it.
that's the case, though, right? It was the topic of conversation. As long as it's a lens, like even
It
Neil
doesn't.
himself, right?
Listen, they don't want to. They don't want to destroy their own. It's all about money ultimately. It's not about accolades.
Right.
They matter, but if someone said you can have a gold medal and $300 million, or you can have $900 million, they're gonna take the 900 million.
Yeah. See, the thing you gotta be, you gotta be future. You gotta be future thinking. For instance, I'll put it to you like this. What do you call that shit again? What was that movie with Brie Larson?
What,
Captain
the Marvel
Marvel.
one?
Sold $1 billion in terms of revenue, but they don't ever want to do that again. There was a lot of reasons why it sold $1 billion. It's because people were trying to get any piece of information on the sequel to Thanos
Avengers.
and the Avengers. So that's why that's what was going on. They already kind of set that up. But in terms of reputation, they don't want their game to destroy their reputation either. Because yeah, in the media you get the money, right? But then the next game ain't gonna be so hot.
I honestly, man, I think The Last of Us Part Two, was more divisive than what we thought, and I don't mean just like the people, the player base. You know what I'm saying? Like the people not liking the game or whatever, right? I think it was kind of like a double-edged sword because the game won a lot of awards. However, they're not really giving us any updates on how well the game sold. So I think that they were like, oh,
Yeah,
like,
every time,
Naughty
every 2
Dog.
million, every 2 million on the first one, it went up. They announced it 10 million, 12 million, 14 million, like every 6
Yeah.
months or whatever.
Yo, I literally think Sony was like, yo, Naughty Dog, look, man, your game won a lot of awards, but nigga, don't do that shit again.
No, the awards that it won, they were tailored to the game itself. Like for instance, accessibility awards. You know what I mean? It was already known that Naughty Dog went after accessibility deliberately. So you're giving that game an accessibility award when no other game tried to do accessibility. They were going to win by default. That type of shit. But either way, my whole point is, do you want them to do more director's cuts? So Black, what about you? What do you think about director's cuts?
I'm with it, man. I want the director's cut for the Infamous 1 and 2, man. If they could do that, you know what I'm saying? When I'm thinking about director's cut, I don't know. I don't think they're gonna make a remaster for Infamous. I want one. I mean a remake is what I mean. I want a remake, but I will settle for them just doing a FPS boost, fucking resolution boost, and maybe cleaning up some of the assets, whatever they could do just to make it look better. I would love that, you know what I'm saying? So if they're gonna take the time to go back and do director's cut and they're gonna add something to it, I'm for it. I'm copping Icky Island. I'm buying that. I'm buying the physical copy. I already bought the digital copy, but I don't have a physical copy. Now I want that to be in my library, so I'm buying that game again. I'm with it.
What about you,
Okay.
Jeremy?
Um, they gotta add content to it, like, or I'd rather have a remake, to be honest,
Why not both?
because I'm not buying both. God damn it!
I'm pretty sure in that case they wouldn't do both. You know what I'm saying? They got to do either a remake or a
Yeah,
director's
pick
cut.
one.
Because that's
Yeah.
what
And,
basically.
and if they
that's
do
what- that's-
director's cut and they just like, oh, we up the FPS, I'm like, I'm not buying that shit again. That's just like backwards compatibility on Xbox. I want new textures. I want new combat upgraded. I don't just want shitty shit running less shitty.
See, man, I see in my opinion, I think for games like, Infamous and some of the older games that came out on the PS4 or whatever, right? I don't really think that they're gonna do director's cuts for games like that, man, because not that the games are not great or anything, but I think they've already had their time in the light. I think
I just wish
the
for thinking
director's
on my part for sure.
well,
Wish for thinking
no,
of
I
it.
mean, if they do like a bundle or something like that, and they give you like the FPS boost or something, like I think that would be cool. In terms of like making it a director's cut, at least in comparison to like what they're doing with Death Stranding and like the Ghost of Tsushima. With Ghost of Tsushima and Death Stranding, not only did they give you like all of the upgrades for the PS5, right? But they also gave you extra content. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I mean, like new content. So for a game like Infamous or whatever, right? I just don't think they're gonna do it because I think that game's already had its time in the light. They did some DLC for it or whatever. If anything, we'll get, like I said, we'll get a bundle or FPS boost or whatever. I think the games that they're gonna do more director's cuts for are, and honestly, I don't think they're gonna do that many, but I think it's gonna be for the games that are like Ghost of Tsushima. You know what I'm saying? Where they got the story out and it's like it's still relevant, and then they wanted to add more content onto the game, and then they're like leaning into this whole, like this is like the premium version of this game, and like shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't really think it's gonna be every single game.
Yeah,
I
for
think it's
sure.
gonna be like cherry picked, and specific situations where they're gonna do it.
Want to know my opinion on like Ghost, right? What I think the reason they're doing that is, I think they didn't know they were going to greenlight a second one right away like that. So the pre-development team needs time to work to, you have an early development team usually that's their specialty is laying the groundwork, and that gives a lot of your developers not a lot to do, so they can add to that game before going into full production of making another game. If you kind of catch my drift there.
Yeah.
Because you usually you have your team split up where you have like a pre-development team and then a
Well,
full
well, yeah,
and then a
because
fin.
no, I totally get what you're saying. Because a lot of times the developers don't have anything to do. You know what I mean? In
That's
that
what
time
that's what I'm
frame.
saying.
So what they'll do is they can either help out other studios, which I think we talked about that before in terms of how that was gonna pan out. They can help other studios, um, and they may not need help. The other studios are probably full and in full swing about what they're doing. So in this particular case, they can get a little bit of extra money, and put in some things, maybe some testing grounds as to what they may want to add, in the future game or whatever the case is. So it's possible. I say that was pretty
Yeah, you can use new
insightful.
combat moves and stuff like that, but you don't have to totally from the ground up develop your melee combat and range combat. It's just a lot less work that they have to do while they're waiting on the foundation to be built
I
when you're
kind
doing
of
a
feel like
sequel.
I kind of feel like Sony with the director's cuts, they kind of wanted to be like, before where it was like game of the year versions of games.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like you had like the base game, and then you had like the game of the year version of that game, which had all of the extra content, you know, all of the
That's
whatever.
basically all it is.
What about
Yeah, I
what
think
about
so
what
too.
about Ghost of Tsushima? I don't think that had a game of the year.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I think
That's
the
what these
director's
direct
cut.
cuts are. Yeah.
I think that's what they're trying to do. I think they're trying to make director's cuts like the game of the year version of those
That's
games.
why I laugh when people say, "Oh, it's $70 or whatever." Well, it's like that's like saying if you bought The Witcher later on and you got all the DLC with it and you got it for 60 and I paid 100. Well, it's not new anymore because people
Because
who bought it day one, if you're gonna end up spending 90 on it instead of 70. Well, yeah, I played it last year.
I don't know
you know,
with the
if you
acquisition of the of that one company that does the ports, bro. I forgot the name already. I'm just being hopeful
Nexus,
for a lot of
Nexus,
remasters, man.
Nexus or
I'm
whatever.
hoping they're gonna do
Nexus.
PS1
Yeah.
and ports and stuff like that and put it on
I'm
PS
looking
now.
forward to some remakes and some fucking ports, bro. I'm all for it, bro. So if they want to call that bitch director's cut, remaster, whatever the fuck they want to call it, bro, I'm down, man. Give it all to me.
Yeah, man, facts.
About that.
Well,
Just give me my
so
Metal Gear.
personally, I don't have anything more to say. What about you, Ken? You have anything?
On the director's cut. I mean, not really. I think I pretty much said what I wanted to say.
All right, did you want to close this out?
Yeah, yeah, we could close it out. Yeah, I mean, unless any of you guys had anything else to say, Psycho Menace, you got anything, man, before we close it out? Still there? Hello, hello, not nothing. Nelson, you got anything, man?
Nope. I talked a lot.
What, what about you, Black? You got anything else you want to say really quick?
Nah, I'm good, man. Good talk, y'all.
Yeah, facts. Well, I guess that's pretty much it, guys. We're at the end of the PlayStation Culture podcast today. I think we had some pretty interesting topics, man, especially considering, it's been kind of slow. There hasn't really been a whole lot of information right now. We're still playing all our fucking games and shit. Sony's getting ready. So, but yeah, I mean, outside of that, guys, man, just make sure you guys follow us on all of our social media or whatever, which is really just Twitter for the most part. That's we're active there pretty much, and obviously we're active in the Discord. If you guys want to jump in there, just we're always in there, doing some crazy shit. So, um, shameless plug. But outside of that, guys, I don't really got nothing else to say.
For sure.
Close it out.
All right,
All right,
y'all, man.
guys.
Be easy,
All
be
right.
easy.
Peace out, guys.
Guys.